Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV here at the Precious Metal Summit Conference in Zurich. And it's my honor and pleasure. A long time ago, we want to talk again to Kingsgate Consolidated Limited. You remember the famous and pretty successful gold producer out of Thailand. And Jamie Gibson, the Managing Director, is here with us. Welcome, Jamie. How are you?
Thank you, Johan. Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Really interesting. Kingsgate, I think I followed the company a good 10, 15 years almost, yes. I would say, something like that. We had several interviews during conferences,
yes.
which is great. And it looks like now really the things are moving, because I saw in your quarterly statements, 67% up is the production. That's good.
Yes, that's right, Johan. And look, we have been around a long time. So Kingsgate and the Chatree gold mine, we started that back in 2001, operated to 2016. In that time, we produced nearly 1.8 million ounces of gold, nearly 10 million ounces of silver. Mm-hmm. We had a timeout. We did have an issue with the Thai government. We resolved that. We're back into production now. And as you rightly say, from the June quarter to the September quarter, our production was up 67%. We produced just under 16,000 ounces of gold and around 160,000 ounces of silver. So we're very excited about that.
I believe that. I would be the same. And I saw the AIC at $2,065, which is still a little bit too high for sure, but I think you are working on that.
Yes,
right?
That's right. And the way we look at this is a transformational quarter. So we've just put the asset back together. We've just recommenced full production this year. So there's a couple of one-off items in that cost profile. There was a few contractors that we used that we won't use in the next quarter. There were some additional reagent costs. They will drop out of that going forward, so that all-in sustaining costs will continue to come down. And we've got some operational efficiencies that we'll put in place as well that should see some strong downward pressure on that cost profile.
Okay, super. Before we come to the guidance for next year, so how long do you think you can produce by now with your reserves and resources?
Yes, so just to give your audience an update on the Chatree gold mine. So it has 1.3 million ounces of gold in reserve. So that's a mine life of about 9 or 10 years if we don't do anything else. And of course we will. We'll build inventory. We'll keep adding to it.
Sure.
It has a resource of 3.4 million ounces of gold. So it's a big asset. It'll be there a long time.
Okay, super. Then what is the guidance for next year? Because you really want to bring up the production, right?
Correct. That's right. And as we say, we're in a transitional stage. So the guidance for this year is 80 to 90,000 ounces of gold. And the all-in cost guidance for that is $1,650 US to $1,800 US. Beyond that, FY 26, 27, 28 will see us go back over the 100,000 ounces again with a cost guidance of around $1,400 US to $1,600 US. So we'll be putting a lot of downward pressure on it, and we think we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be fantastic, because even still with the gold price today is a little bit lower, like $50. But who cares, to be honest? It's a good breather.
Correct.
I think we needed that really. And because the central banks wants to buy maybe a little bit cheaper.
That's right. I think you're spot on with that. That's a good observation.
But very interesting. Still, you have a margin then of, let's say, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300. So that will spill out a lot of money.
Correct.
Yeah. So will you pay some debt back? What will you do?
Yes, that's exactly right. So we don't have a lot of debt. We've got $35 million US dollars in debt, and we've got a little bit less than that in cash. The June quarter was our first cash positive quarter. September quarter was cash positive. The debt facility is for 3 years. We can pay it off as early as 18 months, and we'd certainly like to do that. And we think if gold price can stay around where it is, even a few $100 cheaper, we can get rid of that debt facility quite quickly.
Super. So my gold price target for next year is 3,000.
Oh, so I love that.
We would be all happy.
We'd be very happy. And I think there's some fundamentals there to indicate that could happen. I really think you're on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the US, they have to fund so many billions the next years. From where should it come? And this world is full of debt. So I think gold can only move.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with that sentiment.
Okay, let's come to the next step of the future, I would call it. That's Chile. So you have a very interesting project there. Can you please get us some more details?
Yes, absolutely. So this is our organic growth pathway. So Kingsgate acquired this asset back in 2011. It's called the Nueva Esperanza Gold Silver Project, and it's located in the very highly prospective Maricunga Belt in the Atacama region of Chile. It is in the world's top 10 underdeveloped silver assets, number 7. And when Kinross owned this asset back in the late 90s, it was the world's largest silver mine. They produced 40 million ounces of silver out of it in about 13 months. The other exciting thing about it is that it was never traditionally really assayed for gold. When we looked for gold, we found a high-grade zone down the side of one of the existing pits. So it has at the moment an existing resource of about 2 million ounces gold equivalent, a reserve of 1 million ounce gold equivalent. That was a long time ago. We're updating the resource and the reserve. We're also putting together an exploration program for calendar 25. We think this could be a really top-line silver play out of the North America. So we'll be putting effort into bringing it back to life as well.
Okay, so that exactly. So you would use the future cash flow probably from Thailand maybe to build that mine?
A little bit. One of the things we're exploring, and we're keen to obviously pay down debt in Thailand and potentially give a return to our shareholders. We've only got a small number of shares on issue, only 260 million. So if we do a distribution or a capital restructure, it'll be quite meaningful. One of the things that we've found with the Nueva Esperanza asset in Chile is that a number of North American parties have approached us about how we might spin that out, make it into a pure silver asset in the North Americas. We're very interested in what that looks like. That would fund it through to development and so forth. So we'll pursue that opportunity as well. But it's a good problem to have.
Absolutely. That's a luxury problem. That's good. Okay, Chile, we know Atacama might be an issue with water. We know that from former years.
Yes.
What is your view on that, or have you solved that already?
Really good question. So when we took the asset, so it was a patchwork asset. Kinross owned some of it, Anglo-American owned part of it as well. We leased, or we kept in good order, 2 water bores that Anglo-American had on the asset. We've kept them in good order the whole time. Even now, we still have them. And we actually have power options nearby as well. There's a major power line that runs past us. Mm-hmm. There's a spur line that runs off to Kinross's La Coipa. So we have both power and water, and we're confident we can resolve those issues. And we've kept it in good order. It is permit ready. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter now of recutting some or updating some assumptions, drilling it, building the inventory, bringing it to development stage. We're very excited.
That sounds super. Hey, super. Thank you very much for that. Really compelling story, I would say, on the point. And we wish you well. And please make sure that you bring Chile also in production.
We certainly will. And thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm really delighted to talk to you and your audience today.
Thank you. Thanks for having you here. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Jamie Gibson, the Managing Director of Kingsgate Consolidated. Yeah, well, the company is really on the high-speed path here now. And after 67% production raise from the second quarter to the third quarter, now they are moving also forwards this quarter. The guidance for next year is well above the 100,000 gold ounce target here, plus silver, of course. And I think also with Chile as a future, producing asset, I would say this is fantastic. Really check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.